Piotr Verzilov. Thank you very much indeed for coming on Hard Talk.
Thank you.
Hello there. Always at this time of year we tend to get topsy-turvy weather conditions. No 2 days the same. That's exactly what we're going to see through the course of the day today. Strong winds, certainly the feature of our weather. Now, this time yesterday it was pretty cold, temperatures around 2 or 3 degrees with a frost. Well, the winds will be a feature, but the winds are certainly bringing more cloud around, so it's nowhere near as cold. There'll be some outbreaks of patchy rain up into the far north and west, but certainly the talking point will be the strength of the wind and the feel of the weather first thing in the morning, with temperatures around 10 to 15 degrees. So it's a mild start, but it's a very windy one, and yes, there will be some rain around. It's going to be sort of fairly light and patchy across the North Cornish and Devonshire coast first thing in the morning. As you can see, 15 or 16 degrees, but it's going to be a cloudy grey start, not the beautiful blue sky and sunshine that we had just yesterday. 15 degrees in London, maybe some glimpses of brightness, a thing of what's to come across the north of England. The wind's certainly a feature up into Scotland, and yes, there will be some outbreaks of rain, particularly to the northwest of the Great Glen and also into the Northern Isles. Now, the strength of the wind certainly significant. Our first real autumnal blow, gusts of winds perhaps at around 50 or 60 miles an hour in Scotland. So it's certainly worth bearing in mind. It may well cause some problems with travel disruption first thing in the morning. Even through the north of England, we're looking at 40 or 50 miles an hour. There's going to be a lot of cloud, and it's going to be a breezy, windy day for many of us. Eventually into the afternoon, that cloud should start to break up with some sunny spells coming through, particularly away from west-facing coast, and those temperatures will recover up to highs of around 14 to 19 degrees. But get yourself an exposed coast there with the strength of the winds. It perhaps will feel a little more disappointing. High pressure tries to influence our weather, and it does for a time into the weekend, but you can see these weather fronts lining up, and you can also see how the isobars are still a feature. So still rather breezy up into the far north, but not quite as windy further south. More sunshine coming through, perhaps a little more in the way of fair weather cloud onto the west-facing coast. 15 to 21 degrees our high on a Saturday. But that area of high pressure gets squeezed out of the way, and these frontal systems start to make an impression on Sunday. Again, it's going to be a breezier day, and there will be some outbreaks of rain as well, stretching down from the north, probably sitting through Northern Ireland and the north of England. So some uncertainty about Sunday's weather. Whatever you're doing, enjoy.
Do you actually believe in me?
Do you believe in you? Because I can't see any fire in your eyes. I can't even see the clicking of the pilot light.
Are you for the job, Mrs. Murray?
It's a job.
The leader of the opposition is in that room practising walking.
Is that too bouncy? It looks...
Bouncy? It's Remembrance Sunday.
Well, I had more fun at my last mammogram. I promise you, I can deliver.
That's what we need to see.
Morning.
You'll never get in. Around the turn of the 3rd century, Roman art began to change, edging imperceptibly away from the classical tradition. The art of Rome was starting to become the art of the Roman world.
And you thought all the Romans did was fight? Treasures of Ancient Rome concludes Monday at 9 on BBC 4.
Welcome to Newsday on the BBC. I'm Sharanjit Leyl in Singapore.
And I'm Kasia Madeira in London. Our headlines this hour. As violent protests spread across the Middle East, President Obama promises to do whatever is necessary to protect Americans abroad. Stock markets surge in New York as the Federal Reserve pumps billions more into the US economy, but will it be enough?
The man who found a British family murdered in the French Alps tells the BBC of his experience.
It seemed to me
just like a Hollywood scene. And if someone had said, cut, and everybody got up and walked away, that would have been it. But unfortunately, it was real life.
And getting to grips with the art of public speaking, the Duchess of Cambridge makes her first official speech overseas at a hospice in Malaysia. And it's 8 a.m. here in Singapore.
And it's 1 a.m. here in London, broadcasting to viewers in the UK and around the world. This is Newsday. Hello and welcome. In Egypt, the Muslim Brotherhood has called for peaceful protests after Friday prayers to express their anger at an anti-Muslim film which has sparked demonstrations across the Arab world. Well, this is the scene right now, live in Cairo, where protesters have gathered once again. More than 200 Egyptians have been injured in clashes outside the US Embassy so far. Well, in Yemen, the US Embassy compound was broken into, and there were protests in 7 other countries in the region. Libyan authorities have made a number of arrests following the deadly attack on the US consulate in Benghazi. Well, our Middle East editor Jeremy Bowen has this report from Tripoli.
The American embassy in Sana'a, Yemen's capital, is heavily fortified. It's been attacked before. But the protesters still made it into the compound. The anger that is spreading across the region about the anti-Muslim film is deepened by the belief some people have that America and its Western friends will do damage